what is inside the mind of Vladimir Putin. Look at his past. Look at what shaped him. Your first job leaves a huge impression on you. Your character, your method of working, a lot is molded by your first job and it stays with you. And for Vladimir Putin, that's espionage. He worked as a KGB spy for nearly 16 years, from 1975 to 1991. Back then, spy work was not exactly like James Bond. No flying cars, no cutting-edge technology. You had to rely on your wits. Vladimir Putin honed his craft during this time. At the height of the Cold War, one particular story stands out from his career. The year is 1989. The Berlin Wall has fallen. A group of protesters is charging to the KGB headquarters in Dresden. Suddenly, an agent comes out to confront them. Agent Vladimir Putin. What does he have to say? That his comrades inside the building are armed and dangerous. And if they force through, there will be bloodshed. That's what he told the protesters. And hearing this, the protesters leave. Now for the grand twist. There were no armed comrades inside. Vladimir Putin was bluffing. And it worked. Such stories are part of the Putin legend. You see him riding horses shirtless. You see him taking a dip in icy cold waters. You see him driving Formula One cars. It is all part of brand building. Putin, the tough yet enigmatic statesman. So far, this brand has worked for him. Vladimir Putin has dealt with 5 US presidents. Each president thought they understood the Russian leader. Listen to this.
I looked the man in the eye. I found him to be very straightforward and trustworthy. We had a very good dialogue. I was able to get a sense of his soul. He's a man deeply committed to his country and the best interests of his country.
You know Vladimir Putin. You think he's a killer?
Mm-hmm. I do.
So what price must he pay?
The price he's going to pay, well, you'll see shortly.
How about that? George Bush said he looked into Putin's soul. And what did he see? A straightforward and trustworthy leader. Joe Biden also looked into Putin's soul. But Biden saw a killer, and he said as much. That is the mystery around Putin. The West calls him a maniac, a mercurial leader, but his track record suggests the opposite. A victory in Syria, major influence over Iran and North Korea, backing the winning side in Afghanistan, and winning back influence in Belarus and Kazakhstan. That's an impressive track record. Now compare that to America. Failures in Vietnam, Afghanistan, Iraq, and Libya. Does that make Putin right? Well, it doesn't, but it does make him successful. Vladimir Putin does have grandiose dreams. He regrets the collapse of the Soviet Union. He mourns the fall of the Russian Empire. If given the chance, he will revive Russia's glory. Just one problem. Putin's grasp exceeds his reach. The Russia of 2022 is a declining power, a failing economy with rampant corruption and a rising China on its periphery. Today's Russia has only one claim to power. It's 6,000 nuclear warheads. Take those away and Russia's finished. So Putin must strike a delicate balance. His dreams of Russian supremacy. Yet he is held back by Russia's reality. So what does he do? Well, he uses his personality to keep the West honest. All the brinkmanship, all the aggression, it's part of a larger strategy. You see, Putin has realized something that America still hasn't. Influence beats intervention. Washington always wants to intervene. In Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Libya, they call themselves the guardians of democracy. Putin has no such delusion. As they say, foreign policy is domestic policy with a hat. So Putin will back dictators, rebel leaders, extremists, basically anyone who does business with him. It's a dangerous policy, but Putin has made it work so far because of the aura around him. All the stories of espionage, all the macho displays, it makes Vladimir Putin a formidable enemy. But what if you peel away those layers? Who is the real Vladimir Putin? A leader who is still stuck in 1991. Putin called the Soviet collapse the biggest geopolitical catastrophe in the 20th century. Not Hitler's rise, not the world wars. 1991 was Putin's worst dream. And this tells you something about the Russian president. He is designed to distrust the West. He's programmed to bluff. And more importantly, he is a 20th century statesman, not a 21st century diplomat. Putin still believes in balance of power. What do I mean by that? Imagine China or Russia placing missiles in Mexico or Canada. How would Joe Biden react? Would he let that happen? Or would he threaten to respond? Well, that is precisely what Putin is doing. He does not want enemy troops on his doorstep. He does not believe that balance of power is overrated. America does, which is why they were caught off guard in 2014 and again in 2021-22. Vladimir Putin, the maverick, is not a Russian creation. It is a Western narrative. The Russian president merely built on it. When Biden called him a killer, do you remember what Putin said? It takes one to know one. He did not deny it, he played on it. That is Vladimir Putin for you. Delusional, overambitious, risk-taking, but more astute than he lets on. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.